Well, the controversy surrounding housing for migrants in New York City, it has a new center stage, that is school gyms. The city's plan to house asylum seekers inside of schools has drawn outrage among many parents and students across the city. They say this is not about the migrants, but the safety of their children, and they are demanding the mayor scrap his plan of housing asylum seekers in schools.
Mayor Adams addressed the pushback yesterday on Good Day.
The 20 gyms that we are looking at, we have not made a final determination on all the gyms, but that we are looking at are separate from the actual school buildings. They are independent from the school buildings. They're not in the buildings where schools are. And we have almost an order of where we have to go as the crisis continues. This is one of the last places we want to look at.
Is it one of the last places? The Teachers Union President Michael Mulgrew says the affected schools had little notice about the plan to house the migrants. He joins us this morning. Nice to have you back on Good Day New York. We've not heard from the Teachers Union on this. You have not weighed in. What do you think about housing migrants in school gyms?
It should be the last resort, and it's clear to us this is not the last resort. We're not at that point in time right now. I believe that this is a complete failure of the city, the state, and the federal government putting together a plan for any sort of coordinated action. We have armories across the city of New York that we can be using. They're under the state. We have Floyd Bennett Field, a massive complex, which is under the federal government. So this is clear to us that, once again, it's the teachers and the school communities left holding the challenges that our city is facing. And our teachers have been dealing with these challenges throughout the year, and I'm so proud. We should all be proud of how they've dealt with this. They have got nothing but support and love and compassion to these children, and they're doing that on their own without a plan.
So you're talking about the challenges because obviously you've had an influx of migrants coming into the school. A friend of mine is a teacher. She's told me that major learning difficulties, and not support from the family because you're dealing with a lot of language difficulties. Are they holding the kids back? And now you're dealing with, they can't even get exercise, which is mandated by the law in New York State.
Yeah, and we have simple questions, and this is why parents and teachers are getting so frustrated. Like, what is the plan? So you want to use a standalone building, but what are we doing about egressing? What do you do? What is NYPD doing? What is school safety doing? What are we doing in terms of, these are asylum seekers? Have they gone through their checks in terms of their own back history? Are these things in place? And people are asking pretty basic questions that they seem not to get answers for, and that's why people are outraged. But again, I don't want to talk to the city and they're telling us it's the state's not helping, or the state saying the city's not doing its job, or the federal government says, oh, it's not our responsibility. That is ridiculous. And that's what really got myself and so many other people upset. So to any elected official, don't tell us it's somebody else's job. We're sick of it. What are you doing today to help this situation? I know what the teachers are doing. I want to know what you're doing besides telling me it's somebody else's job.
That seems to be the common answer you keep hearing, because the thing is, it starts at the top. So are you seeing any progress in what the president's doing, what the vice president's doing, who is in charge of immigration? And are you seeing anything that you like?
This is, immigration is its own political mess, right? We have people coming here seeking asylum, and they're coming in large numbers, and we don't even want to get into that part of it, where they're coming from and everything else. We support helping these families, but it shouldn't just be the teachers in the schools. So we're getting, until I see it on the ground, until teachers see something on the ground, a real plan, a real support system. Why are teachers across the city holding food drives and bringing in clothing and doing clothing drives for these children if supposedly everything's being done for them? It's not. So we're really getting quite angry about the whole thing. We will always take care of these children, but enough until we see real support and a plan from the federal, state, and city in the schools. As far as we're concerned, none of them are doing their jobs.
Well, we appreciate you speaking out about this, but where is the head of the teachers union? Because she was at a strike yesterday for writers, but this is happening, in her schools. This is something that she cares about apparently so deeply.
You know, she understands and shares our frustration, and she is doing her advocacy work at the federal level. She gets that this is a real issue that everybody seems to be passing the buck. So the frustration is real across the board for all of us who are dealing with this situation. Remember, it's not just New York, Chicago. I'm talking to our folks in Chicago, LA. Same thing. Where is the federal, the state, and the local coordinated response? That's what we want to see, and that's what we're going to fight for.
So what are you hearing about absenteeism? Because yesterday I know one school, it might have been the Coney Island school, where 140 kids called out sick yesterday.
Parents need answers. When they say, what is the plan that I can be sure that my child is safe? And that's a simple thing that should have been sent to schools ahead of time. What is the egress in and out of these sites? What are we doing in terms of making sure that when they're in these neighborhoods, that they're being watched after, because they need the safety for the children who are in our schools and the safety for the families who are asylum seekers. And when you can't get those answers, then you get people starting to say, well, I'm not sending my child there until I get these answers. And that's a legitimate response. So give us the answers. Come out and tell people what the plan is.
All right, so meanwhile, these standalone gyms, these are brand new gyms that sometimes even the kids didn't even get a chance to go in. Does it have the facilities to like house migrants? Are there showers? What's there?
Some do, some don't. We have an inventory. We've looked at them all. So these are not. And what we're hearing from the Office of Emerging Management people, they want larger facilities. This doesn't even fit what they're trying to do, because they have to staff them as if they're in a situation where they're putting 3,000 beds or 200 beds. So it's really not helping us. It's stretching the workforce that's supposed to be working daily with the asylum seekers. It's stretching them out. So again, why are we not using the armories? Why are we not using Floyd Bennett Field? These are massive facilities that have everything you just asked for. They have them. But we need state permission and we need federal government's permission.
So will the teachers union do anything? Will they take any kind of action, or are you just going to sit there and say you're sick of it?
We're going to take what we're going to do now is really start to push at everyone. We're going to shame everybody. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go out and publicly start shaming everyone, because we do our jobs, you're not. And that's how we see it. It's black and white, plain and simple. So we're now going to start a campaign of shaming them all. Until they do something.
But the teachers will continue to work.
Of course, the teachers will continue to work. And people need to understand this more than anything else. The teachers go into this profession. The teachers in this city are doing their work every day because they care about children, and they're not going to ever abandon the children. And the day teachers are so sick of this job that they start abandoning children, it's the day that our society really truly starts to crumble.
Michael Mulgrew, head of UFT in New York, thank you so much for coming on Good Day New York. Good luck to everybody in the school system. We appreciate you.